Okay, we're back to chapter 10. We're going to start today with lesson 10.3, and this is the circumference of a circle. So circumference of a circle, we're going to zoom in a little bit on that so you can see a little bit better. There you go. Put that off to the side. And first of all, we're going to, before we can do that, we're going to draw a circle. I'll kind of round it out a little bit. There you go. And then we're going to take our circle and we're going to put a center spot there, and we're going to label that. This is the center of our circle. Right there in the middle. Now, if we have a line that goes from the center to the edge, this is called a radius. A line that goes from the center to the edge is a radius. If we have a line that goes from one side to the other, crossing through the center, this line is called the diameter. And if we have a line that goes from one side of the circle to the other without going through the middle, that's what we call a chord. Spelled the same way as a chord in music, but we call it a chord. Now, going all the way around the outside of the circle, if we go all the way around the outside edges, the outside edge is called the circumference. So circumference. So today we're going to work with finding the circumference of a circle. Now, it's all the way around the outside edges. Now, in the past, you found like the perimeter of a square or rectangle, that kind of thing. So we use that when we find the outside edges of a square or rectangle. And so with circumference is like the perimeter, but it's the perimeter of a circle. Let's go through and do a couple of exams. First of all, we're going to write down our formula, how we figure this out. So how to calculate the circumference of a circle is we take this formula. So we're going to say circumference, we're going to write this out, is equal to pi times diameter. Now, pi is this mathematical, it's named after a guy named Pi, and the formula is 3.14 is the amount of pi, what pi stands for. And again, the symbol pi is comes from the fellow named Pi, but it is a mathematical equation that is 3.14, calculated at that. And then times the diameter. I should write that out for you. And we're going to abbreviate diameter. So here's how it works. If we have a circle, draw the circle, and let's say we have a circle that has a radius that equals 2 inches. So draw that circle. We're going to put our formula. We're going to say, okay, circumference is equal to, C means it's circumference, is equal to pi times diameter. Now in this case, pi is 3.14 times the diameter. Since the radius goes from the center to the edge, the diameter goes all the way across. So if the radius is 2, what do you suppose the diameter is? If you said 4, you are correct. So the diameter is equal to 4 in this case, even though in our drawing it only showed us the radius. So now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 3.14 times 4. I'm going to calculate that out. So 3 times, if we forget about the decimal for just a moment, 300 times 4 is 1200. 4 times 10 is 40. And 4 times 4 is 16. And if we add that all together, and if this goes fast, you can stop and pause it. If you add that all together, you get 1,256, but we have to go back and put our decimal in, so 1 2 places. So 1 2 places in our answer, So we are going to go back up here to our formula, and we're going to say that our circumference now is equal to 12.56, and it's inches. Now it's not square because circumference is basically the distance around the circle. So again, we're going around the outside edges. And so we box that in. But again, show your work off to the side, calculations off to the side. All right, we're going to take and go to some examples. We're going to go to page, go to the assignment actually, page 487. So go to page 487. Number 1, we're talking about, we want to copy and complete this statement. So the distance across the circle through its center is the what? So if we have a circle, the distance across the circle through the center is called what? What is that equal to? We'll take a look back up at our drawing. The distance across the circle going through the center, we can see that is the diameter. And again, stop and pause if you need to. Number 2, the distance around a circle is the what? And if you go back up to your notes, we said the distance around the outside edges is called the circumference. So all the way around this circle is the circumference. Make sure you spell it correctly. Skip a line, and again pause the video if you needed to pause and catch up. Number 3, the distance from the center to any point on the circle is the blank. So again, from our circle, the distance from the center to any point on the edge of the circle. So from here to here, from here to here, what are those lines called? And if we go back from the center to the edge, we are looking at the radius. Number 4, the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. That's how we came up with this equation. But the ratio of the circumference of the circle to its diameter, and distance all the way across, of course, we call that calculation pi. We use the formula pi to figure it out. So pi, pi, and also is equal to the symbol pi. And sometimes you see in books it has a little squiggle too, but not too much squiggle. Number 5, we're going to do on the next page. So turn your page. We're going to take a look at number 5, and we're going to find the circumference of the circle. So we're going to start with a circle. Draw the circle and label it 7 centimeters. The diameter is 7 centimeters all the way across. So we want to find the circumference. So we want to say the circumference is equal to pi times diameter. And again, write that formula out. So pi times diameter, we're going to say, okay, well, we know that pi is 3.14. That's what that equation is equal to. The diameter, since this drawing has our diameter going all the way across, our diameter is 7. So in this case, we know that we're going to multiply 3.14 times 7, stack it up, and for just a moment, forget about the decimal point. So 300 times 7 is 2100. 7 times 10 is 70, and 7 times 4 is 28. We're going to add this together, and we get 2198. 2198. Put the decimal in, 2 places over to the left. So in our answer, 2 places over to the left, and we have 21.98, and that is the exact answer. So our circumference is equal to 21.98 centimeters. And again, that's circumference, so don't put the labeled area on there. Number 6, skip a line. So we want to find the circumference of the circle. This circle, again, draw the circle. This takes a moment. and we're going to label it with a 9-foot diameter. So if we have our circumference is equal to, again, pi times the diameter, and in this case we know the diameter pi is 3.14 times the diameter, which is 9. So we have 3.14 times 9. And again, just momentarily forget about the decimal point. 300 times 9 is 2,700. 9 times 10 is 90. And 9 times 4 is 36. Add all those pieces together, and we're going to get 2,700. 90 plus 30 is 126. There we go. And we'll add those two parts together. 2826. Decimal goes 1 2 places, 1 2 places. So our circumference is calculated to be C is equal to 28.26 feet. And again, stop and pause and catch up and get your calculations finished up. Number 7. In this case, we have a circle with a radius of 4 inches. And our formula again for circle circumference is equal to pi times diameter. But in this case, it's just telling us the radius. What do you, if we have a diameter of 4, what do you suppose the radius would be all the way across? And if you said that the diameter was 8, you are correct. Pi is 3.14 times 8. So 3.14 times 8. Again, momentarily forget about the decimal. 300 times 8 is 2,400. 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 4 is 32. Add up those parts. We have 2,400 plus 80 plus 30 is 110 plus 2, so 112. I'm going to kind of squish this on the bottom, but I get a final answer of 2512. And the decimal goes 1 2 places to the left, so 1 2 places to the left. So our circumference is equal to 25.12 inches. And we box that in. All right, let's continue on with number 8. Go on to the next, switch a page here. Number 8, we have a circle with a radius of 8 meters. So again, our formula is circumference is pi times diameter. So if we have pi times diameter, we're going to say that, okay, we have pi 3.14 times the diameter. Now we have the radius of 8 meters. If that is 8 meters, what do you suppose the diameter is? If the radius is 8, what do you suppose the diameter is? All the way across. And if you said 16, you are correct. So we're going to say 3.14 times 16. I'm going to break this into 2 parts. So I know that I won't break it apart, but I have, forget about the decimal for a minute. If I have 10 times 300, 10 times 300, well, 1 times 3 is 3. So 10 times 300 is 3,000. And 10 times 10 is 100. And 10 times 4 is 40. And if I have 6 times 300, I know that 6 times 3 is 18. So I'd have 1,800. And 6 times 10 is 60. And 6 times 4 is 24. And if you add that all together, I get 4,000. And then if I add my hundreds together, I get 900.